they can send 'em parcels.
What's the good of parcels? Everything would go off before it got that far. Siberia's a long way.
Things don't go off so much in the cold. And Siberia is cold.
You can say that again.
That is, if it's gonna be Siberia. It might not be Siberia. What did you say, Postnikov?
I say nothing, Corporal.
Right then.
Salt mines. If you're working underground, it might be warmer. Warmer than on the surface.
Too warm. You can't breathe.
And when you come up, too cold. Hot and cold, like, together. You must have gone off your head, man. There's a lot to be said for something quick. Not long drawn out. Something quick. Sort of drawn out quick.
What's up, Postnikov? What are you doing?
He's repenting.
Repenting? It's too late for that. Repentance is a luxury in this outfit, Postnikov. The damage has been done, you great fool.
He wouldn't sink. I wanted him to, but he wouldn't sink. He just went on and on and on. He wouldn't go under and die. What was I supposed to do?
The drill manual tells you what you're supposed to do. You should have followed that.
Every time he shouted, my throat ached. And when he sank, I was under the ice, there, with him. I couldn't move. I couldn't shout.
You've done sentry drill.
I had to push him under or get him out. I had to do something. It was never left for me to decide. I did what I had to do. I had to stop. Had to be stopped. It had to be stopped.
Shut up, Postnikov.
A good sentry would have shot him.
Colonel Svin springs into action whenever his regiment is threatened. It's not entirely unselfish, of course. Like any colonel, he wants to be a general, and promotion hangs on keeping the good name of the regiment. So, naturally, he is very upset.
Right! Left wheel! Right wheel! Mark! Time! Prisoners guard! Halt! Prisoners guard! Left! Face! Prisoner one pace forward! March! Private Postnikov, sir!
You, soldier, carried from this guardroom the good name of the regiment and the safety of the Emperor. And at the first challenge, you flung both into the river. Now, I could ask for what? And the answer would be for a festive drunk whose loss might well be a relief to his suffering family and whose life he held so lightly that he began this idiot crossing in the first place. I could ask for what, but I will not. Because there is nothing, no cause, no end, no good, strong enough to challenge and overrule a man's duty. The Emperor reigns under God. The Emperor's cause is God's cause. And the Emperor's safety and the soldier's duty are sacred, inviolable, unbreakable. But you have broken them. You have betrayed your Emperor. You have spat in the face of God. And even if we chose to overlook the whole thing, God would remember. And God would punish you. quite certain this officer knew he was dealing with a sentry?
Quite certain.
That you reported the matter to the police?
Quite certain.
I would have been happy that this matter had been kept among ourselves, administer our own punishment, keep down the scandal.
I understand, sir.
Damned interference. Take the prisoner away, put him on bread and water, keep him in solitary confinement. We will deal with him when we have time.
Sir! Prisoner one pace backward, march! With an escort, left face! Left wheel, forward, march!
Damn interference. But Miller jumped to it. The regiment's under attack. What is your plan of campaign? What do you know about the disposition of the enemy?
The enemy, sir?
The enemy, sir.
Well, sir, the veterans officer has put in a report to the superintendent of police at the Moskaya Street police station.
Right. And what will the superintendent do?
File it, sir?
He could file it. That is a possibility. Is it the only possibility?
No, sir.
What then?
He could act on it and inform the chief of police.
He could. If he did, why would he?
Sense of duty, sir?
No, Miller. Not a sense of duty. Malice. The police always like to take the military down a peg. So, what will the superintendent do? He has the report. Will he file it or will he act upon it?
Act upon it, sir.
Exactly. And who will receive it, this report?
The chief of police, sir.
The chief of police, exactly. General Kokoshkin.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of all this, then, Constable?
Well, the officer's statement, sir.
A statement.
Well, he should have been wet, sir, like you said.
Well?
Well, more disabled like, he's dressed more disordered.
Well?
Well, officers come under the military and shouldn't make use of us. Anyway, the safety of civilians should be left to the police. And if there hadn't been a fire night, there'd been a policeman standing by. If a complaint were laid by the military, you'd have the full support of the chief of police.
I have that already, Constable. I know his mind, and I know he wouldn't want to be bothered with trivial things like this. I don't believe a word of it. The man's after a medal, that's all. He's an ambitious liar. And we are the police, Constable.
We are, sir.
And we are not taken in.
So, is the chief of police our friend?
He's a general, sir. He used to be a soldier.
He left the army, Miller. He is now a policeman, so he is not our friend.
No, sir.
No. It is important, Captain, in military matters, that an officer should not wish for things to be what they are not. He must begin with things as they are, black as they may be. In the past, General Kokoshkin has been generous. If something takes his fancy, he has been known to be generous.
There was the case, sir, of the lieutenant of the Lvov regiment who shot a waiter for being slow with the drinks. The general had the matter hushed up. That was generous, sir.
And unexpected. I cannot expect the chief of police to think the same way twice. Militarily, we cannot allow our campaign to hang upon the whim of the chief of police.
No, sir.
No. So, the chief of police is not our friend. The fate of this regiment does not affect him as it is now affecting me. It will be the same to him one way or the other.
Yes, sir.
What time is it?
3 o'clock, sir.
You realize then that in 4 hours from now, the chief of police will present his daily report to the Tsar. After that, none of your engineering or advanced military techniques will save us.
Yes, sir.
Then what do we do, for God's sake?
We cannot lie low and hope the danger passes.
Of course not, you fool. Do get on with it. We've had all that. Speak up.
Could we perhaps make out a second report, giving the facts, but presenting them in such a way so as not to incriminate the whole regiment?
And
could we not present our report to the Grand Duke?
you mean, why don't we play the Grand Duke off against the chief of police and let them find it out for us?
Yes, sir.
You're not a soldier, Miller. You're a manipulator. You're a damn politician. Now listen to me. When you're in a tight corner, you pick up the regimental colors, you square your shoulders, and you charge straight to where the enemy is thickest. That is called soldiering. You've been little enough help, Miller. Fortunately, I know what to do. I shall ask the chief of police for an interview. I shall make a straight confession of the entire matter, and I shall await my sentence like a soldier.
You have taught me a lot, sir. Would it be in order to offer you congratulations?
No, it would not. Just shut up and keep your blasted fingers crossed.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Colonel Svin in the Spall regiment. Be kind enough to tell General Kokoshkin I should be grateful for an interview.
The general is asleep, sir.
Then wake the general up. Present my respects and apologies and tell him I should be grateful for an interview. I should not be here, man, if there were any alternative.
Of course, sir. I will try and wake him.
With my respect, for God's sake. I must hold nothing back. I must be utterly frank. The general can be generous. For a chief of police, very generous. He has a volatile temperament which may make it better, or worse, depending. In any case, he should be touched that I appeal to him directly, and simply, and confidently. Well, it's in his interests as well as mine to keep the Emperor in a good temper. After all, if there had been one of his blasted policemen on the spot, our sentry would have stayed at his post.
You must have something very urgent to say, Colonel.
Yes, sir.
Then sit down and say it.
And Svin told General Kokoshkin the whole story from start to finish, and waited for the explosion.
The soldier left the sentry box and saved a man's life.
Yes, sir.
And the sentry box?
Remained empty during that time.
I know that it remained empty. I'm very glad to hear it was not stolen.
Well, he's got the report from Eyre Street. And he's going to tell the Tsar. He's made his mind up.
You've given me the sentry's story. Do you expect me to believe it?
I believe the word of a member of the regiment, sir, given under oath.
Your sentry was also under oath to look after his box, wasn't he? Stay here, Colonel. We'll continue this grave matter very shortly.
It's all up. The regiment's finished. I am finished. It is just a matter of time.
Get me the report from the Admiralty police station. Some tale about a sentry fishing someone out of the river.
I beg your pardon, sir, But there's been nothing in from Moskaya Street tonight.
You sure? It's a life-saving incident.
Quite sure, sir. There's been nothing about life-saving, except a report about extraordinary police daring during the fires.
Oh, good. Huh. What do they say?
They're here, sir. Would you like to read them?
Yes. And while you're about it, just run through the rest of the reports. Make sure there's nothing about some fool in the river and a sentry. Admiralty Station, a report by some officer of the Veterans Regiment.
Of course, sir.
Huh?
There's nothing come in, sir. Nothing from Moskaya Street, sir.
Oh, funny. Oh, very good, this. I'm delighted. His Majesty will purr when he reads it.
Shall I dismiss Colonel Svin then, sir?
No, you shall not. I want to see the Superintendent of the Admiralty Police Station, Moskaya Street, the officer who gave in the report of the rescue, and the idiot who fell in the river. Moskaya Street will have their names and whereabouts. Let's have a good brisk turnout to round off the night. Take Colonel Svin a glass of tea. And tell him we are moving into action.
Thank you, Superintendent. The official report?
I'd like to beg leave to say a few words to the Chief of Police in private.
Isn't your report complete, Superintendent?
As a report, yes. But you understand?
Come in!
The report, sir. And a deposition by a Captain Kirov. The Superintendent asked to see you before you see the others.
Did you say the superintendent wants to see me about this?
If he may, sir.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Get him.
Superintendent?
Very well, Superintendent. Aren't you satisfied with your report?
As a report, yes, sir.
Seems all right to me. Very good, in fact. Unexpected, full of possibilities for investigation.
But the officer appeared so little disarranged, sir. I thought it worth mentioning.
How do you mean?
Neat, sir. And dry.
They always manage to come out dry.
Unruffled, sir. Not a mark on his uniform. His hands were quite clean.
Do you read stories, Superintendent?
Off duty, sir.
Stories with heroes?
Yes, sir.
Then you should know Heroes have clean uniforms and do not sweat. Anything more?
Nothing more, sir.
Good. Come in.
All present and in order, sir.
Right, let's begin. And always remember, Superintendent, heroes are different. The peasant. Now, my good man, you were in the river opposite the palace at 1 a.m. this morning.
I didn't know the time, sir.
But you were in the river.
Yes, sir.
In the river.
Sorry, sir.
I see you were drunk.
Sorry, sir. I wasn't drunk, sir. I had no more than a drop or two. Not enough to make me, outright blind drunk. Not what you call drunk.
What were you doing in the water?
Drowning, sir.
Was that your intention? Were you tired of life?
No, sir. I just wanted to cross the river, sir. The nearest way across the ice, but I got lost.
And fell into the water?
Yes, sir.
So it was dark before your eyes, was it?
Yes, it was dark all round, sir. Otherwise, I'd have gone across the steps at the bottom of Moscow Street. There's thick ice across there, sir.
It was so dark, you couldn't see who pulled you out. Could you?
No, sir. Afraid not, sir. Not for certain.
Well, was he wearing a beard?
No, sir.
Did he carry a cutlass?
No, sir.
Well, had he a horse with him?
No, sir.
Well, had he a ring through his nose?
No, sir.
Then you know quite a lot about him, considering men have been hanged for less.
Oh, believe me, sir, I'm innocent. I'm an innocent man, sir.
Shut up, then, and tell me who rescued you. It's quite obvious you know more about this affair than you're prepared to tell us. Come on, identify him. I'll give you 3. 1, 2.
Oh, I believe it was him, sir.
Well, why didn't you say so in the first place, wasting everybody's time?
It was dark, sir, and I was scared, and I kept going under. One minute there'd be lights and bells and trumpets, and next it'd be dark.
But you believe it was him?
Yes, sir, I do.
Swear it.
I swear I believe it was him, definitely.
Lights and bells. Yes, you can't hold your liquor, don't drink.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get your money from, anyway?
Well, I saw...
No, don't answer that, or we shall no doubt have to bring criminal proceedings against you. Just thank God you're alive. You are alive, aren't you?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Well, it's more than you deserve. Now, just turn round and have a good look at that gentleman. A man of honor, a gentleman, and a soldier risked his life to save you.
I'll always remember him, sir.
Would you be kind enough to repeat for us your name, sir?
Ivan
Not you, you idiot.
Captain Kirov, sir, Palace Veterans Company.
You hear that? Captain Kirov, Palace Veterans Company.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank him.
Thank you, Captain
I should think
Kirov.
so.
God bless you, sir.
Are you of the Orthodox faith?
Oh, yes, sir, I am, sir.
Mention his name next time you offer up a prayer in church.
I will, sir, I will.
You should. Thank God. Not now, later. Have you learnt your lesson?
Yes, sir, I have, sir.
Well, there's nothing more we can do for you. You can go.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Captain Kirov.
Yes, sir.
You saved this man, sir, at the risk of your own life.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry there were no witnesses, Captain. Men of courage are apt to do themselves less than justice, whereas a witness,
Yes, sir.
But then it would have been too much to hope for, wouldn't it, it being so late, so dark?
Yes, it was dark, sir, and there was nobody on the embankment, sir.
Why, there would be nobody on the embankment. Except the sentry.
Except the sentry, sir, of course.
There's always a sentry there, you know, Captain Kirov. Though, it was quite natural that you should not regard him as a witness. Sentry has his sentry box. Nothing must distract him. Drowning drunks, deeds of daring on the ice, appeals for help. The sentry remains at his post. That is what you teach your men, is it not, Colonel?
Yes, sir.
I believe what is written in this report. It was taken down from your own words, wasn't it?
It was taken down from my own words, sir. And it's absolutely correct.
And you signed it?
Yes, sir.
And as you remembered yet another fact, you added it.
Yes, sir.
and signed it.
And signed it, sir.
Your action deserves a reward.
Oh, thank you, sir.
There's nothing to thank me for. I shall do what I have to do. Report your act of self-sacrifice to the Emperor. That is no more than my duty. Though, as a private person and a former soldier, I must say I admire your boldness.
Thank you, sir.
Now, sir, you may go home. Get yourself a warm drink, rest. But do not leave your quarters. You may be needed. Who knows Captain Kirov? Your chest may be decorated with a medal this very day. Superintendent?
Sir.
Be prepared to call on Captain Kirov later. The Emperor may wish to see him.
Yes, sir.
And if you hurry, you'll be able to drive him back to his quarters in your carriage.
Of course, sir. I should be honored.
You haven't talked to anyone else, have you?
No, sir.
The Grand Duke, for instance?
No, sir. I came straight to you.
Who was the guard commander tonight?
Captain Miller, sir.
Captain Miller, son of Count Andre?
Yes, sir.
Good family. Knew his mother. Well, it's been an extraordinary night, Colonel. We had a fire in the customs house and a fire at the end of Neva Prospect, two in one night. Quite extraordinary. The whole force was armed with new equipment. Ah, tremendous sight, Colonel, and the speed. Oh, the speed. Firefighting is now part of regular police training. Did you know that, Colonel?
I believe I had heard.
Impeccable. Better than inspections and maneuvers and pop gun practice.
Yes, sir.
Because things were achieved.
Yes, sir.
Colonel, you came to me tonight with a story. I chose not to believe it. You understand? Never mind.
The next day, God and man were thanked for what they had done.